on-campus housing is not adequately maintained, even at the request of students and angry parents. Actually, 75% of Ivy League schools have mold on campus. There's also nearly 300 cases of mold in schools nationwide that we know about. Colleges in 42 of 50 states have mold. I'm not talking about small, subtle cases here. There are literally Instagram pages dedicated to finding mold across universities. In fact, there's a guy, you're going to hear from in a minute, who compiled a list of schools with serious cases of mold that your children are being forced to live with. In fact, there's roughly 270 schools that we're scrolling right now on this list, and most of these schools won't even take a phone call from the parent because the administrator's considering the kid living on campus to be the only worthy point of contact because they're an adult. So much talking about all the student loan process and how expensive colleges are. Kids and parents are mortgaging their future for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and these colleges are forcing kids to live in third world conditions. The University of North Carolina, Wilmington was just how we found out about this. If you've got kids in these colleges, start making some calls. Michael Rubino, mold remediation expert who had tracked down these hundreds of things. You've been doing this for years, and how am I just finding out about this?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, mold in universities is a massive problem, as you've seen in the graphics that you've shared. 265 schools in the last 5 years dealing with mold on campus. As an indoor air quality expert myself and someone who's advocating for clean air, I can't believe we have to advocate for clean air as it's not rocket science.
That we're paying for.
But that we're paying for, right, by the way. I mean, that's where we are. And so when we look at it from this perspective, clean air, clean water, and clean food is what we need, especially with this perspective of the neurotoxin effect that actually can occur from having mold exposure inside of a dorm or facility. Kind of interesting considering we're putting kids in these positions and we don't want them to have neurotoxins because they're there to learn. How can somebody learn if they're literally being exposed to something that causes neurodegenerative diseases, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. I mean, to be fair, then look, frat houses, guys pee on the wall and spill the keg and drink beer. And it happens, but the problem is there's no oversight. And this is in Ohio, actually, I want to get to this. In Ohio, they've actually had to evacuate 500 students due to mold that they found in one dorm room building. And they only got there because enough people complained.
I'm actually meeting with the Ohio State University student government body because this is a really big problem. And, unfortunately, I feel like most students, they don't really feel like they have a voice. They don't really feel like they're heard when they bring this thing up. I've actually talked to parents of these kids. And, they feel like they don't have a voice. They feel like they're not being heard. And, for me, from my perspective, I understand, some of this stuff in microbiology, it's not taught in common settings. But we all know that mold is not a good thing to be breathing in constantly. Yeah. And yet when people are reporting mold, these universities are sweeping it under the rug. Look at their statement. Oh, don't worry. We cleaned it up. Yet somebody else goes in there and says it still smells like mold. So obviously it's not cleaned up.
Right.
Why aren't they taking experts like myself and bringing people in to test the environment and remediate the environment?
Money.
That's what they need to be doing.
They don't want to spend the money. They'll take all the money all day. Before I let you go, do you have a website where people can go and look and see if their kid's college is on this list?
Yeah, if you want to blow your mind, go to moldu.org, and you'll see all of the research we've done over the past few years. And it's going to blow your mind because you're paying a lot of money, and these schools are not reciprocating.
Moldu.org. That is, you know what? You may have just saved some lives right there, Michael. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much.